Thor, god of thunder, storms, and protector of humanity. Part 1. The Mighty Hammer. What secrets lie in Mjolnir? Mjolnir, the legendary hammer of Thor, is far more than a simple weapon. It is an extension of the thunder god's very essence, and a symbol of his power and unwavering will. Forged in the heart of a dying star, or by the masterful hands of the dwarf brothers Sindri and Brokkr, depending on the telling, its origin stories imbue it with an almost cosmic significance. The hammer possesses an array of mystical properties that elevate it beyond mere craftsmanship, making it one of the most formidable artifacts in all of Norse mythology. Its ability to return to Thor's hand after being thrown, for instance, speaks to a deep, inherent connection between wielder and tool, a bond that transcends physical distance and the laws of gravity. This magical recall is not just a convenience, but a testament to Mjolnir's loyalty and its recognition of its rightful owner. One of Mjolnir's most iconic enchantments is the inscription that declares, "Only the worthy can lift it." This seemingly simple spell has profound implications, acting as a moral compass and a test of character for anyone who might seek to wield its power. Worthiness in this context often implies not just strength or courage, but also nobility of spirit, selflessness, and a commitment to justice. Many have attempted and failed, leaving Mjolnir steadfastly planted, a constant reminder of Thor's unique integrity. This worthiness clause serves as a narrative device, underscoring Thor's inherent goodness and his role as a protector, distinguishing him from lesser gods or ambitious mortals who might covet its destructive capabilities for selfish ends. It is a powerful barrier against misuse. Beyond its ethical gatekeeping, Mjolnir is the conduit through which Thor channels his formidable powers of thunder, lightning, and storms. Without it, Thor is still a mighty Asgardian, but the hammer amplifies and focuses his elemental control to an unparalleled degree. When he swings Mjolnir, the very air crackles with energy, storms gather, and lightning bolts streak across the sky, bending to his command. This connection means that Mjolnir is not merely a weapon. It is almost a living entity, an active participant in Thor's battles, resonating with his fury and his purpose. It is a force of nature condensed into a physical form, responsive to its master's every intention, making him a true god of the elements, not just a wielder of a powerful object. The hammer also possesses defensive capabilities, able to deflect spells and absorb energy, making Thor an almost impenetrable force on the battlefield. It can generate powerful concussive blasts, create force fields, and even manipulate dimensions, allowing Thor to travel across the 9 realms. These diverse functions highlight Mjolnir's versatility and its critical role in Thor's success against formidable foes. Its indestructible nature ensures that it can withstand the mightiest blows and deliver them in kind, a constant in a universe filled with chaos and destruction. This durability is crucial for a god who constantly faces threats that could shatter lesser weapons, ensuring Thor always has his most potent tool. Another fascinating aspect of Mjolnir is its connection to the lore of the dwarves who forged it. Their craftsmanship is legendary, imbued with ancient magic and secrets known only to their kind. This origin story hints at an even deeper magic, perhaps involving cosmic materials or primordial energies that transcend the understanding of even the gods themselves. The dwarf Sindri's lament that such a perfect weapon would only fall into the hands of a god highlights the immense power and potential of Mjolnir, suggesting that its creation was a singular event, never to be replicated. Its perfection is a testament to the skill and the magic infused within it. The concept of Mjolnir being too heavy for anyone unworthy also adds a layer of mystical intrigue. It is not merely a matter of physical strength, but of spiritual and moral alignment. This makes the hammer a constant symbol of Thor's unique position among the gods. Even Odin himself, the All-Father, acknowledges the hammer's wisdom in choosing its wielder. This divine endorsement solidifies Mjolnir's status not just as a weapon, but as a judge of character, an embodiment of the virtues it represents. It acts as a moral compass, guiding Thor and reminding him of his responsibilities to the realms he protects. Mjolnir's importance extends beyond battle. It is a symbol of protection and a source of hope. For the mortals of Midgard, its sight heralds the arrival of their protector, a beacon against the darkness and the encroaching threats from other realms. The thunder it commands is not just a roar of war, but a promise of safety, a sign that chaos will be quelled and order restored. This psychological impact is as significant as its physical power, inspiring courage in allies and striking fear into the hearts of enemies. The sound of its approach is enough to change the tide of many a battle. The hammer is also an object of immense cultural significance within Asgard, a testament to its might and the power of its wielder. Feasts and sagas often recount tales of Mjolnir's deeds, cementing its place in the history and mythology of the Nine Realms. Its legends inspire awe and reverence, reinforcing Thor's position as one of the most revered and feared deities. It is an artifact that binds the past, present, and future of Asgard, a continuous thread in the tapestry of its destiny, a symbol of its enduring strength and justice, an iconic artifact. The secrets of Mjolnir are ultimately intertwined with the secrets of the cosmos itself. Its ability to manipulate weather, open portals, and return to Thor's hand speaks to a profound connection with the fundamental forces of the universe. It is not just a tool, but an extension of the primordial energies that govern existence, a key to unlocking powers that transcend mere godly might. This makes Mjolnir a truly unique and mystical artifact, holding within it the echoes of creation and destruction, a relic of immense power and mystery, a truly legendary item that empowers a truly legendary god. Part 2. Slayer of Giants. Why is Thor always fighting? Thor, the mighty god of thunder, is almost perpetually locked in combat, his hammer Mjolnir rarely at rest. This constant state of conflict is not merely a taste for battle, but a fundamental aspect of his divine role and the very fabric of the Norse cosmos. The primary reason for his endless confrontations lies in his explicit duty as the protector of Asgard and, more specifically, Midgard, the realm of humanity. The Norse mythological world is not a peaceful one. It is a chaotic tapestry woven with the threads of 9 distinct realms, many of which are populated by hostile and destructive entities, with the Jotnar, the frost giants, being the most persistent and formidable threat. The frost giants embody primordial chaos and destruction, constantly seeking to invade and conquer Asgard, or, at the very least, disrupt the cosmic order maintained by the Aesir. Their very existence is antagonistic to the settled, civilized realms. Thor, with his immense strength and unwavering courage, is the primary bulwark against their incursions. He is the first and often only line of defense, embodying the raw power needed to repel these colossal threats. His hammer is specifically designed for such confrontations, making him uniquely suited to the task of slaying giants and safeguarding the balance of power within the 9 realms, a critical role. Beyond the physical threat, the giants represent a deeper philosophical opposition to the Aesir. While the gods represent order, law, and the preservation of life, the giants symbolize untamed nature, destructive forces, and the primal chaos that existed before the world was fully formed. Thor's battles are therefore not just skirmishes, but ideological wars, fought to maintain the very structure of existence. Each victory over a giant is a triumph of order over chaos, a reaffirmation of the Aesir's dominance and their commitment to protecting the established world. This makes his fights more than just physical brawls. They are existential struggles for the survival of the cosmos. Moreover, Thor's personality is inherently geared towards direct action and confrontation. He is known for his strength, bravery, and a straightforward approach to problem-solving. Diplomacy and cunning are often left to others, like Odin or Loki. Thor prefers to face threats head-on with his hammer. This disposition makes him the ideal champion for a pantheon constantly under siege. He doesn't shy away from danger or delegate difficult tasks. He embraces them, seeing it as his sacred duty to personally confront and defeat those who threaten the peace and safety of the realms, making him a truly effective warrior god. His constant travels across the realms also bring him into frequent contact with various monsters, trolls, and other malevolent beings that inhabit the wilder, less civilized regions. These encounters often escalate into conflict, as Thor's presence as a powerful god is either challenged or necessary to quell local disturbances. He is a roving guardian, his vigilance extending far beyond the borders of Asgard, ensuring that justice is served and threats are neutralized wherever they may arise. This constant movement across the realms guarantees he will always find some new menace to confront, a never-ending cycle of heroism. The cyclical nature of Norse mythology also plays a significant role in Thor's constant battles. The stories often revolve around ongoing conflicts, feuds, and the inevitable approach of Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods. In such a worldview, peace is a temporary lull, and conflict is an ever-present force. Thor's persistent fighting is a reflection of this cosmic reality, a continuous effort to delay the inevitable and protect what can be protected for as long as possible. His battles are not isolated incidents, but part of a grand, unfolding narrative of struggle and survival, an epic saga of unending conflict. Furthermore, Thor's legendary feats of strength and his reputation as a giant slayer precede him throughout the realms. This notoriety means that he is often sought out for aid against monstrous threats, or he is specifically targeted by those who wish to challenge his power or undermine Asgard's authority. His fame is a double-edged sword, attracting both those in need of a champion and those who seek to test their might against the mightiest of the gods. This makes him a magnet for conflict, a beacon for both the oppressed and the ambitious, a legendary figure. The concept of honor and glory in Norse culture also encourages and valorizes combat. For a god like Thor, who embodies these ideals, battle is not just a necessity, but a path to renown and respect. His numerous victories solidify his status as a formidable warrior and a respected figure among the gods. Dying in battle, especially against a worthy foe, is seen as the highest honor. This cultural context provides a strong impetus for Thor's constant engagement in conflict, reinforcing his identity as a warrior god. His legacy is built on his countless triumphs. Thor's role as the protector of humanity, Midgard, is particularly poignant. Humans are often vulnerable to the whims of larger, more powerful beings, and Thor's unwavering commitment to their safety is a recurring theme. His battles are often fought to prevent the devastation of human lands, or to rescue mortals from the clutches of giants and other monsters. This selfless dedication to a weaker race highlights his noble character and provides a powerful motivation for his constant vigilance and readiness for war. His protection is a source of comfort and safety for mortals. Finally, the narratives themselves are shaped by the need for exciting and dramatic tales. A god who simply sat peacefully in Asgard would not make for compelling storytelling. Thor's adventures and his epic confrontations with terrifying foes provide the core of many mythological sagas, making him a central and dynamic character. His constant fighting is therefore also a literary device, ensuring that there are always new challenges, new triumphs, and new stories to be told about the mighty god of thunder, cementing his place as an eternal hero. Part 3. The Trickster's Companion. How often does Loki get him in trouble? Loki, the sly and cunning trickster god, is perhaps Thor's most frequent and infuriating companion, and it's safe to say that he gets Thor into trouble with astonishing regularity. Their relationship is a complex dance of sibling rivalry, grudging respect, and an almost magnetic attraction to chaos that inevitably ensnares Thor. Loki's schemes, whether driven by malice, mischief, or a twisted sense of loyalty, consistently lead Thor into predicaments ranging from mildly embarrassing to life-threatening. The sheer frequency of these incidents is a testament to Loki's persistent nature and Thor's often naive susceptibility to his brother's machinations. One of Loki's most common methods of getting Thor into trouble involves outright deception. Loki is a master of disguise and illusion, often impersonating others or manipulating situations to trick Thor into unfavorable circumstances. He might convince Thor to embark on a fool's errand, lead him into a trap set by giants, or even steal Mjolnir itself, forcing Thor on a humiliating quest to retrieve it. These deceptions often rely on Thor's straightforward and trusting nature, which makes him an easy target for Loki's more convoluted plans. Thor's strength is in battle, not in discerning subtle lies. Another recurring theme is Loki's tendency to stir up conflict or inadvertently trigger a larger problem. He might insult a powerful entity, boast unwisely, or commit a petty theft that escalates into a full-blown crisis requiring Thor's intervention. Loki rarely considers the long-term consequences of his actions, focused instead on immediate gratification or amusement. Thor, as the responsible and powerful brother, is then left to clean up the mess, often through brute force and Mjolnir. This dynamic highlights Thor's role as the pragmatic problem solver to Loki's chaotic instigator. Loki's trickery often leads to situations where Thor's physical might is rendered useless, or where he must rely on unconventional means to succeed. This forces Thor to confront challenges that test his character beyond mere strength, making him grow and adapt. For instance, when Loki leads them into situations where battle is not an option, Thor is compelled to engage in contests of wit, diplomacy, or endurance, areas where he is initially less proficient. While frustrating for Thor, these experiences inadvertently broaden his skills and understanding of the world. The dynamic between them is further complicated by their brotherhood. Despite Loki's constant provocations, Thor rarely abandons him, and often even rescues him from the consequences of his own schemes. This bond, though strained, ensures that Loki remains a constant presence in Thor's life, and, by extension, a constant source of trouble. Thor's loyalty, even to his mischievous brother, is a defining trait, showing his unwavering commitment to family, even when that family member is a perpetual pain and source of endless frustration. Loki's motivations are rarely purely malicious towards Thor himself. Often, his schemes are aimed at gaining power, seeking attention, or simply alleviating boredom. Thor simply becomes an unwitting participant or a convenient tool in Loki's grander, often self-serving designs. This adds a layer of complexity to their relationship, as Loki isn't always trying to harm Thor, but his actions invariably put Thor in difficult situations, almost as an accidental byproduct of his own chaotic nature and desire to always be at the center of attention, for better or worse. One of the most famous examples of Loki's troublemaking is the tale of Thor's hammer being stolen by the giant Thrym. It is Loki who discovers the thief, and, through his cunning, orchestrates the bizarre plan for Thor to disguise himself as Freya and marry Thrym to retrieve Mjolnir. This not only puts Thor in a deeply humiliating situation, but also forces him to rely on Loki's guile, something Thor would rarely choose to do willingly. It's a prime example of Loki's ability to create chaos and then devise an equally chaotic solution. The frequency of Loki's antics is practically mythological in itself, becoming a running gag in their shared adventures. It's almost expected that, wherever Thor goes, if Loki is present, trouble is sure to follow. This predictability, however, never diminishes the impact or the severity of the predicaments they face. Each new scheme presents a fresh challenge, and Thor is constantly learning to anticipate his brother's devious mind, though he rarely fully succeeds, always finding himself surprised by the sheer ingenuity of his brother's cunning. Loki's troublemaking also serves a narrative purpose, acting as a catalyst for many of Thor's most iconic adventures and character developments. Without Loki's instigations, Thor might lead a much more uneventful life, confined to Asgard. Loki forces Thor out of his comfort zone, pushing him into new realms and new challenges that ultimately showcase his strength, bravery, and his evolving sense of justice. Loki is, in many ways, the necessary antagonist that drives Thor's heroic journey forward, a complex relationship. The cyclical nature of their interactions also suggests an unbreakable bond, despite the constant friction. Thor's willingness to repeatedly forgive or rescue Loki speaks to a deep affection and hope that Loki might one day truly change. While Loki rarely does, the potential for redemption, however slim, keeps their relationship dynamic and ensures that the trickster god will always find a way to ensnare his brother in another one of his elaborate schemes, much to Thor's perpetual exasperation, but also his continued adventure. Ultimately, Loki's knack for getting Thor into trouble is not just a character trait, but a foundational element of their shared mythology. It highlights their contrasting personalities, drives many of the most entertaining and significant stories, and continually tests Thor's patience, strength, and resolve. The Thunder God's life would be significantly less complicated, but undoubtedly far less interesting, without the constant, chaotic presence of his trickster companion, a testament to their enduring, troublesome bond. Part 4. Drinking Contests and Humor. Is the Thunder God also a fool? Thor, the mighty god of thunder, is indeed known for his formidable strength and unwavering courage, yet the sagas also paint a surprisingly nuanced picture, revealing moments where his boisterous nature and trusting disposition make him susceptible to being outsmarted. While it would be unfair to label him an outright fool, there are instances, particularly involving drinking contests and contests of strength, where his competitors, often giants employing illusion and trickery, manage to make him appear less astute. These tales serve not to diminish Thor entirely, but to highlight the cunning of his adversaries and to add a layer of human-like fallibility to the otherwise invincible deity, making him more relatable. The most famous example of Thor being outwitted is his visit to Utgard Loki's castle. There, he is challenged to a series of seemingly straightforward contests that, unbeknownst to him, are designed with powerful illusions to humble him. In the drinking contest, Thor attempts to empty a massive horn filled with mead, only to find the level barely dropping. What he doesn't know is that the horn is magically connected to the ocean itself, an endless source. His inability to drain it, despite his immense thirst and effort, makes him appear weak and easily defeated in the eyes of his hosts. This episode highlights Thor's straightforward approach to challenges. He relies on his raw power and stamina, never suspecting that the rules of the game have been subtly manipulated. His earnestness in trying to win, coupled with his limited understanding of complex magic, makes him a prime target for Utgard Loki's elaborate deceptions. Thor's frustration and eventual embarrassment are palpable, demonstrating that even a god can be made to look foolish when faced with an opponent who plays by entirely different, hidden rules. It exposes a vulnerability beyond physical might. Similarly, in the strength contests, Thor is challenged to lift a cat and wrestle an old woman. The cat, unbeknownst to him, is the Midgard serpent, Jormungandr, disguised and magically enhanced, making it impossible for him to lift more than one paw off the ground. The old woman is actually old age itself, a force that no being, god or mortal, can ever defeat. In both instances, Thor exerts himself to his absolute maximum, straining with all his godly might, only to achieve seemingly meager results. These failures leave him feeling shamed and outmatched, unaware of the profound magic at play. These stories are not intended to portray Thor as genuinely unintelligent, but rather as someone who values directness and honesty, making him unprepared for insidious trickery. His humor, when it appears, is often boisterous and hearty, reflecting his straightforward nature. He enjoys revelry and boasts, confident in his own abilities, which makes him all the more vulnerable to those who exploit that confidence with subtle deceptions. His personality is one that thrives on clear challenges, not hidden ones. The humor in these tales often comes from the audience's knowledge of the deception, watching Thor struggle against impossible odds while remaining oblivious. It's a form of dramatic irony, where the trickster character, Utgard Loki in this case, revels in Thor's confusion and exertion. This kind of humor adds a lighthearted dimension to the often serious sagas, providing moments of comic relief and showing that even the gods are not immune to being made fun of or experiencing humiliation. Furthermore, these incidents serve to teach Thor valuable lessons about humility and the limitations of brute strength alone. They force him to recognize that not all problems can be solved with Mjolnir, and that cunning and wit have their place, even in the realm of gods. While he never fully adopts Loki's trickery, these experiences undoubtedly broaden his perspective and make him a more well-rounded figure, albeit a very frustrated one at the time. He gains wisdom from his humbling experiences. Despite these moments of being outwitted, Thor remains a figure of immense power and respect. The fact that he came so close to achieving the impossible feats, lifting a paw of the Midgard serpent, for example, speaks volumes about his inherent strength, even when pitted against cosmic forces. His perceived failures are only failures in the context of the giants' deceptions. In reality, he performed extraordinary feats against insurmountable, magically enhanced challenges. This context restores much of his dignity. The tales of Thor's more embarrassing moments also humanize him. They make him relatable to mortals, who also face situations where they are outsmarted or feel foolish. This relatability is a crucial aspect of his enduring appeal, showing that even the greatest heroes have their moments of vulnerability and can be taken advantage of by cleverer foes. It grounds him in a way that purely invincible characters might not be, providing a deeper connection between god and mortal. Ultimately, Thor's portrayal in drinking contests and humorous situations doesn't label him a fool, but rather a powerful, honest, and sometimes overly trusting god who can be outmaneuvered by sophisticated magic and cunning. His reactions, frustration, anger, and a desire to prove himself, are understandable and make him a more complex and engaging character, reminding us that even the mightiest among us can be surprised by the unexpected. He is a warrior, not a schemer, and that is his strength and sometimes his weakness. Part 5, Protector of Midgard. Why do mortals trust him most? Thor's unwavering commitment to Midgard, the realm of humanity, distinguishes him markedly from many other Norse deities and earns him the profound trust and reverence of mortals. While other gods might concern themselves primarily with Asgardian affairs, power struggles, or their own personal glory, Thor consistently and actively positions himself as humanity's primary shield against the myriad threats that plague their fragile world. This dedication is not conditional. It is a fundamental aspect of his identity and role, making him the most reliable and steadfast protector in the eyes of humankind, a true guardian angel. One of the key reasons for this trust is Thor's direct and consistent intervention. When giants, trolls, or other monstrous creatures invade Midgard, it is Thor who rushes to their defense, hammer in hand. Mortals witness his thunderous arrival, feel the ground tremble beneath his mighty steps, and see the terrifying foes vanquished by his sheer power. This direct, tangible protection fosters a deep sense of security and gratitude. They don't just hear tales of his deeds, they experience his protection firsthand, solidifying their belief in him. Unlike some gods who might demand elaborate sacrifices or complex rituals before offering aid, Thor's protection feels more immediate and selfless. He doesn't seem to protect Midgard out of a desire for worship alone, but out of a genuine sense of duty and affection for the human race. This perceived altruism makes his interventions feel more genuine and less transactional, further building trust. Mortals understand that Thor's motives are pure, and his commitment is unwavering, a refreshing change. His strength is also a major factor. In a world full of dangers that humans are utterly powerless against, Thor provides an insurmountable force. His ability to slay giants, repel monsters, and control the elements offers a sense of ultimate security. Mortals know that whatever formidable threat emerges, Thor possesses the power to overcome it. This overwhelming might, wielded in their defense, makes him an indispensable protector and a symbol of hope against despair. His hammer is a beacon of safety. Thor's straightforward and honorable character also contributes to his trustworthiness. He is not known for deceit or manipulation, unlike his brother Loki. Mortals can rely on Thor's word and his actions, knowing that he will do what he promises. This transparency in his character stands in stark contrast to the often capricious nature of other deities, making him a stable and predictable source of protection. His integrity is as mighty as his hammer. Furthermore, Thor often travels among mortals, sometimes in disguise, but frequently revealing himself to offer aid or participate in their lives. These interactions, whether in battle or in less confrontational settings, allow humans to witness his personality up close. They see his bravery, his occasional fits of temper, but also his genuine concern. This personal connection, however fleeting, strengthens the bond of trust and makes him feel less like a distant ethereal god and more like a benevolent if formidable ally. The agricultural basis of many ancient societies also contributed to Thor's prominence. As the god of thunder and rain, he held immense power over the success of harvests. Good weather, vital for survival, was often attributed to Thor's benevolence, earning him practical respect and reliance. While not directly battle-related, this aspect of his divinity reinforced his role as a provider and a guardian of their very sustenance, making him essential to their daily lives and survival. His battles are often epic and dramatic, providing inspiring stories of heroism that reinforce his image as the ultimate champion. These tales, passed down through generations, serve to continually remind mortals of his past victories and his ongoing vigilance. Each saga of him defeating a monstrous foe or repelling an invasion strengthens the narrative of Thor as the indomitable protector, reinforcing the trust placed in him across the realms and throughout time, forever cementing his legendary status. In Norse cosmology, the threat of Ragnarok looms large, a destined end where gods and mortals alike will face their final battles. In this grim future, Thor is prophesied to face the Midgard serpent, Jormungandr, in a climactic struggle to the death. This foretold sacrifice, for the greater good of the cosmos, and particularly Midgard, further cements his image as a selfless guardian, willing to lay down his life for the realms he protects, including humanity. This ultimate sacrifice solidifies his unwavering dedication to mortals. Thor's protection of Midgard is not just about physical defense. It also symbolizes the preservation of human life, culture, and progress against the forces of chaos and regression. He champions the values of order, justice, and community that allow human civilization to flourish. In this sense, he is not just a warrior, but a guardian of their very way of life, ensuring that humanity has the space and safety to thrive, a crucial role. Ultimately, mortals trust Thor most because he consistently demonstrates, through his actions and his character, that their well-being is his paramount concern. He is a powerful, honorable, and ever-present force against the darkness, a god who not only possesses the might to protect them, but also the will and the heart to do so without fail. His dedication makes him more than a god. He is their shield, their champion, and their most trusted ally against the existential threats of their world, a true hero of the people. Part 6. Thor vs. Jormungandr. What is his greatest fear? The epic confrontation between Thor and Jormungandr, the Midgard serpent, is not merely a prophesied battle, but a potent symbol of Thor's ultimate destiny, and, arguably, the source of his greatest fear. While Thor is known for his unparalleled bravery and seemingly boundless strength, the fear associated with Jormungandr stems not from a lack of courage, but from the existential dread of a predetermined, cataclysmic struggle that he is fated to win at the cost of his own life. It is the fear of an inescapable fate, a struggle against a foe so immense and ancient that victory itself means annihilation. Jormungandr is no ordinary monster. It is one of Loki's monstrous offspring, a colossal serpent that encircles the entire world, its tail in its mouth, holding the fabric of existence together. Its very presence is a constant, suffocating threat to Midgard, an ever-present reminder of the chaos lurking beneath the surface of the cosmos. For Thor, the protector of Midgard, this creature embodies the ultimate antithesis to his sacred duty. It is the embodiment of the chaos he fights, a force so powerful it can only be contained, not truly defeated, until the end of days. The fear is not of fighting Jormungandr itself, for Thor is a warrior born, but of the immense, world-shattering consequences of that fight. The prophecy of Ragnarok dictates that during this final battle, Thor and Jormungandr will meet, locked in a struggle that will devastate the 9 realms. Thor will ultimately slay the serpent, but not before being poisoned by its venom, taking 9 steps before succumbing to death. This foreknowledge of his own demise, coupled with the knowledge that his victory is inextricably linked to his own end, is the true source of his fear and dread, a truly terrifying reality. This confrontation represents the ultimate test of Thor's resolve and his unwavering commitment to his protective duties. He knows the outcome, yet he will not shy away from it. This is not fear of failure, but fear of the inevitable conclusion that even his greatest triumph will lead to his own destruction. It's a profound existential dread, acknowledging that despite all his power, he cannot escape the threads of fate woven by the Norns. This makes his courage even more profound, as he walks willingly towards his known demise for the sake of the cosmos. The immense scale of Jormungandr also plays a part in this fear. Thor has battled many giants and monsters, but none compared to the Midgard serpent, a creature of cosmic proportions that literally encompasses the entire world. The thought of confronting such an ancient primordial entity, whose very existence threatens the stability of reality, must instill a unique kind of terror. It is a battle against a force of nature, rather than just a powerful foe, a truly overwhelming challenge. There have been instances where Thor has encountered Jormungandr prior to Ragnarok, most notably during the fishing expedition with the giant Hymir. In this tale, Thor hooks the serpent, and the sheer power of the creature almost capsizes their boat. Thor struggles mightily, showcasing his immense strength, but Hymir, terrified by the unfolding chaos, cuts the line, preventing the premature, world-ending confrontation. These encounters, where Thor glimpses the true power of his fated adversary, only serve to heighten the tension and dread surrounding their final meeting, reinforcing the terror. The fear also stems from the deep personal connection to the serpent's lineage. Jormungandr is the offspring of Loki, Thor's adoptive brother and constant companion. This familial link, however twisted, adds another layer of complexity to the impending battle. Thor is not just fighting a monster, he is fighting a cosmic being connected to his own troubled family, blurring the lines between personal conflict and universal doom, making the battle even more emotionally charged. For Thor, whose identity is so deeply intertwined with his role as a protector, the idea of his own ultimate demise, even in victory, must be profoundly unsettling. It means an end to his guardianship, a cessation of his thunderous defense of Midgard. While he will die a hero, the thought of leaving the realms vulnerable, even if temporarily, before a new order emerges, likely weighs heavily on him. His death signals a massive shift. This fear is not a weakness, but rather a testament to his profound understanding of the cosmic order and his place within it. It demonstrates a wisdom beyond mere brute force, acknowledging the inescapable nature of fate and the immense sacrifices required to preserve existence. His willingness to face this fear, to walk into his fated battle, despite knowing the outcome, solidifies his status as one of the greatest heroes of the Norse pantheon, a truly brave god. The confrontation with Jormungandr is the ultimate expression of Thor's heroism. He faces his greatest fear, not with reckless abandon, but with the grim determination of a warrior fulfilling his destiny. His final battle, though ending in his death, is a glorious one, a testament to his strength, courage, and his unwavering commitment to protecting the realms, even at the cost of his own life. This fear is what makes his heroism so compelling and so enduring, a truly epic struggle. Part 7, From Myth to Marvel. How did Thor conquer Hollywood? Thor's journey from ancient Norse mythology to a global cinematic icon is a remarkable testament to the enduring power of his story and the strategic brilliance of Marvel Comics and Studios. His conquest of Hollywood began with his adaptation into the Marvel Universe in 1962, reimagined by Stan Lee, Larry Lieber, and Jack Kirby. This initial translation laid the groundwork, but it was the Marvel Cinematic Universe, particularly beginning in 2011, that truly propelled him to unprecedented global stardom, capturing the imaginations of millions and transforming a mythological figure into a modern superhero. The initial success of Marvel's Thor lay in its clever reimagining of the myth for a comic book audience. Stan Lee and his team retained the core elements of the Thunder God's power, his hammer Mjolnir, and his Asgardian lineage, but grounded them in a more relatable, often human narrative. By giving him an alter ego, Dr. Donald Blake, and initially depicting him as arrogant and needing to learn humility, they created a character with an arc, something essential for long-form storytelling. This blend of ancient godhood and human vulnerability proved highly engaging for comic readers. When Marvel Studios embarked on its ambitious cinematic universe, Thor presented a unique challenge and opportunity. Unlike Iron Man or Captain America, who had more grounded origins, Thor required a faithful yet accessible portrayal of Norse mythology, complete with flying hammers, rainbow bridges, and a cosmic realm. The studio's decision to embrace the fantastical elements rather than shy away from them was crucial. They built a visually stunning Asgard and introduced a pantheon of colorful characters that brought the myths to life on screen. Casting Chris Hemsworth as Thor was a stroke of genius. Hemsworth possessed the physical presence, charisma, and a natural ability to convey both Thor's regal bearing and his more comedic, fish-out-of-water moments on Earth. His portrayal successfully balanced the gravitas of a powerful god with a relatable charm, making him an instant hit with audiences. His chemistry with other MCU characters, especially Loki, further cemented his appeal and made him a central figure in the expanding universe, a truly inspired casting choice. The first Thor film effectively introduced audiences to Asgard, the concept of the Nine Realms, and the complex relationship between Thor and Loki, which became a foundational emotional anchor for the franchise. The blend of action, humor, and a surprisingly heartfelt exploration of family dynamics resonated deeply. It wasn't just a superhero movie, it was a cosmic fantasy epic that successfully integrated into a broader, interconnected narrative, setting the stage for his appearances in The Avengers. Thor's integration into the Avengers films was pivotal. Here, he became part of a larger ensemble, his powers and personality complementing the other heroes. His interactions with characters like Iron Man and Captain America provided much of the franchise's humor and emotional depth. Audiences loved seeing the powerful god grapple with human technology and customs, adding a layer of comedic relief that broadened his appeal beyond traditional superhero fans, making him an integral team member. Later films, particularly Thor Ragnarok, pushed the character in new directions, embracing more overt comedy and a visually distinct aesthetic under director Taika Waititi. This reinvention, which saw Thor lose Mjolnir and gain a new understanding of his powers, breathed fresh life into the character, preventing him from becoming stale. It demonstrated Marvel's willingness to experiment and evolve its characters, keeping audiences invested and engaged with his ongoing story, a successful revitalization. The thematic elements of Thor's story, honor, duty, sacrifice, and the struggle between good and evil, are universal and timeless, contributing to his broad appeal. These classic heroic tropes, combined with modern storytelling techniques and cutting-edge visual effects, created a powerful cinematic experience that transcended cultural barriers. His journey from arrogant prince to selfless king resonates deeply with audiences looking for heroic narratives that champion virtue and self-improvement. A truly classic hero. Furthermore, the continuous narrative of the MCU meant that Thor's story was constantly unfolding, with new challenges and character developments in each film. His arc, which saw him mature from a hot-headed warrior to a wise and somewhat world-weary leader, provided a compelling emotional journey that audiences invested in over more than a decade. This long-form storytelling allowed for deeper character exploration and stronger audience connection, truly developing his persona. Marvel's strategic marketing and merchandising also played a significant role. Thor's iconic hammer, his flowing cape, and his striking appearance became instantly recognizable symbols. The consistent branding across films, television shows, and merchandise ensured that Thor remained a constant presence in popular culture, cementing his status as a beloved superhero. This pervasive presence meant he was always top of mind, a truly global brand. Ultimately, Thor conquered Hollywood by successfully bridging ancient mythology with modern superhero storytelling. Marvel managed to honor the essence of the Norse god, while making him accessible, relatable, and endlessly entertaining for a contemporary global audience. His journey is a masterclass in adaptation, demonstrating how timeless stories, when told with vision and creativity, can continue to captivate and inspire generations, an enduring testament to his appeal.